Hey, what's up y'all, T.REX here. Now, I'm just going to jump straight to it. It's one of those 10 interesting things, I don't know, top 10 sex positions, top 10 things you never knew and all of that kind of crap. Basically, this is going to be a bit of a rant, obviously, and it's in the best spirits of this channel, along with all the other stuff. So, I say, guys, grab some snacks, although it's not gonna be very long, but still, grab some snacks, grab some drinks, and enjoy the video. So let's get to it. So from the get-go, it's basically, literally from the start, it says, the narrator says that T.REX and SPINOSAURUS will have to battle a new contender for the most popular dinosaur. Meet Giganotosaurus. So, I have a few problems with that claim. First of all, fair enough, T.REX, that's true, it's the most popular dinosaur, there's no denying about that. However, I wouldn't ever say that Spinosaurus is a strong contender to the most popular dinosaur, nor would I say is a Giganotosaurus. There are many other dinosaurs that could easily compete against either Spinosaurus or Giganotosaurus for being the most popular or second most popular, depending on how you obviously position it. So whatever it is, they seem to be conveniently ignoring Stegosaurus, Allosaurus, Triceratops and Velociraptor. Those could definitely rival Giganotosaurus or Spinosaurus, but that's just my opinion, so I don't understand why they're trying to make a fuss about that particular part. I know they're trying to be dramatic here, but once again, I don't get it. Personally, I don't get it. I don't blame somebody who sees it this way. This is perfectly fine, but I don't get it, okay? I just don't get it. Now, next point is at 0.21 roughly. He says Giganotosaurus was larger than T.REX. So let's define larger, okay? Because there is no clear difference between their size. On one hand, you could hypothesize that Carcharodontosaurids of this size were generally more, likely to be longer, perhaps, than Tyrannosaurids of similar size because of their specific body plan differences that make them so, while at the same time being narrower and lighter in mass. There are many ways to define it here, because generally you have similarly sized creatures with a different body plan, so please define larger. Secondly, I do not think it's quite fair to actually make a claim that it was larger, because once again, for the reasons I specified, you have to be specific. Larger, how larger exactly? Are you talking about the comparison, say, between let's say Tyrannosaurus and Daspletosaurus? That's obvious one, that T.REX is larger than Daspletosaurus or larger than Allosaurus, because there is a clear difference between their overall sizes. Hence why I think it's important to get the terms clear, but they don't want to do that because they want to keep it dramatic and short and, well, yeah. This channel has a bit of a reputation, I guess, around here, for liking to just do this whole sensationalism kind of idiocracy. But that's my personal view on it. As everything in this video, I try to back up my views as much as I can, but don't forget that they are still my views, mostly. Now, on 0.32, it says it was larger and perhaps heavier than T.REX. For the love of God, again, define larger. Stop shoehorning this every single time. But then he says, and heavier. So by larger, you're meaning longer and heavier? Is that what it is? Like what's... or because they're practically the same height, okay? Pretty much. There's not much difference between them on average, I would assume. Just please get your things right. Why are you using this rhetoric? Longer and heavier? Well, if it's both longer and heavier, yes, that's definitely gonna make it larger. If it's just heavier but not longer but shorter, like T.REX, for example, is heavier than Giganotosaurus, but it's likely to be shorter, although we will get to that point later on when I get to my long ago promised theropod video, which is coming soon, by the way, so don't worry about that. But in any case, yeah, this is inconsistent. I don't and the terms are kind of used a little bit awkwardly here. I don't know. No, I ain't feeling it. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry, but I ain't feeling it. Like, seriously, let me catch one of my friends out there in a paleo like Josh or someone else saying it was larger and perhaps heavier. Like, what kind of rhetoric is this? Right, okay. So, at 0.36, full-grown adult may have tipped the scale of around 10 tons. So first of all, my first question is, where did you get this information from, whoever was the author of the video? Because that's completely not true. There is no evidence of Giganotosaurus even exceeding the 7 tons, or 7.5 perhaps at most, but that's like, I mean, we only have a holotype that's nearly complete, and I don't think that any reasonable mass estimate has given it even as much as 7.5 or 7 tons. I believe the most they were given, this was given, was about 6.5 tons, which is, by the way, much lighter than the mass estimates for a Tyrannosaurus, which on average seem to be about 7 or 7.5 tons, according to various sources, which I will obviously look at in more detail when we do the theropod video. Right now I want to just address these points here because they're just frustrating. Now on 0.39 immediately he goes, compared to a 9-ton female T.REX. So first of all, once again, where is this coming from? I don't know, I don't understand where that information came from. Secondly, this gives me several different impressions here. First, the rhetoric implies that perhaps 9 tons being frequently associated with the weight of Sioux, with the mass of Sioux, I mean, specimen, the author implies that Sioux was a female, which is also incorrect. There is no evidence to prove that Sioux is a female, because the only known specimen that has positively been identified as a female, and the only specimen of T.REX also that has been identified with an identified gender as it is. Yeah, that's basically the other specimen. I believe it's called a B.REX, which was, I believe, also 18 years old, and Schweitzer et al. Has described this specimen, the medullary tissue, which is basically why it was proven to be female. Unless, of course, the author also tries to imply that Sioux or any dinosaur was gender fluid, which is bollocks, obviously, but I'm just saying, you know, unless that's what they're trying to shoehorn in here, then yeah, I'd say bugger off with that crap, okay? Not a chance. Anyway, next point. At 2:19, it says Giganotosaurus may have hunted ARGENTINOSAURUS, and I am pretty sure that's completely false, because there is no evidence of these two coexisting in the same period. So they got the period wrong, which is wrong and, well, wrong. So that's completely false. And then on 2:55 they go on to say Giganotosaurus roamed the plains of South America about 95, sorry, my language, words are difficult today for some reason, maybe it's the weather. Anyway, it's not, they claim it's 95 million years ago. That is completely wrong as well, because the proximity of Giganotosaurus existence is in range of 98 to 97 million years ago, which is obviously not the same as 95 million years ago. It might seem like it's only like 1 or 2 digits there, but it's actually quite a long period of time of difference between their existence. So now if we go to 3:25, they say Giganotosaurus was faster than T.REX. Now I want to understand several things. I'm just going to ask the questions. Where did this information come from? And which study of T.REX speed was taken for comparison, in contrast to which study of Giganotosaurus speed as well? So how did the author of the video come to this conclusion? I do not know. I would like to see that happen. I don't say that it was not, I'm not sure. It may have been, it may not have been, although as far as I'm aware of, it seems that most, at least scientists, are in agreement that Carcharodontosaurids were not as fast as Tyrannosaurids, but it depends, of course, which Carcharodontosaurid and which Tyrannosaurid. So I don't deny the fact that the possibility, I mean not the fact, but the possibility that Giganotosaurus may have been faster than a T.REX, but I would like to understand where that came from, because I have not heard that personally. Like, there are different views on this, but I want to see which one has more plausibility, given which one has better, let's just say, stronger science behind it. Does it make sense? So let's move on to the next point. For 07 roughly, it says brain half the size of its cousin T.REX. So I don't have the issue with how they identified the brain sizes. My issue is that the T.REX is not a cousin of Giganotosaurus. They are both from different bigger clades, being Allosauridia and Tyrannosauroidea for Giganotosaurus and T.REX respectively. And within those families also they narrow down into Carcharodontosaurida and Tyrannosaurida respectively. So the only true relationship that they actually share is just both being theropods. But then with that in mind, we can say, oh, they are both, I don't know, vertebrates, whatever, Dinosauria, Archosauria. So there's many other ways to look at it, but they are not exactly each other's cousins. It would make more sense if they were to say that Tarbosaurus, or not, maybe Daspletosaurus or Alioramus were cousins of T.REX, and Carcharodontosaurus was a cousin of Giganotosaurus and Mapusaurus and etc. Tyrannotitan. But that is not the case. They claim that T.REX is its cousin, which is incorrect. Now, the final point in the video itself is Giganotosaurus secures the title of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs of Cretaceous South America. Once again, and this is probably the third time in the video, I want to ask, define largest. For all we know that all Cretaceous carnivorous theropods that are known from very limited material at the moment are very close to size of Giganotosaurus. They may have been a bit smaller, maybe a bit more lean, like, leaner maybe a little bit, or I don't know, the only ones we know for sure in terms of the largest theropods are Tyrannotitan and Mapusaurus. And even they come from a very, Mapusaurus is from a very decent material, but it's about as well as Giganotosaurus. Tyrannotitan, same thing, if not even slightly more limited material in contrast to these two. So you've got to be specific what you mean by largest. I don't deny it's possible. It's very much indeed possible that it may have been both heavier and maybe even longer, but we don't know because the material is extremely limited. But based on what we do know, I think it may have been a little bit heavier. But once again, I urge people making these kind of videos to define what they mean by largest and perhaps take extra time to compare specific characteristics when it comes to creatures which are very similar in size overall. So that's basically just my general sort of point here. Now, as a whole, it seems that for something that they claim to be facts about Giganotosaurus, they tend to say a lot of maybe, perhaps. Like, facts don't get... how do I say this? This rhetoric is not suitable for stating a fact. A fact is something that is a given. For example, Giganotosaurus has sharp teeth. Not like Giganotosaurus maybe had sharp teeth. Like, that would not sound like a fact, would it? That's a suggestion, that's a hypothesis maybe, but generally if you're stating it as a fact, then form a correct rhetoric. That's just my personal input into this. As always, these kind of MegaTopTens, they seem to be following the same spirit, so I would strongly say that it's good entertainment, but it's not good for getting your information if you want to learn about dinosaurs. The best way to do it, and it's the hardest way, is to dig it yourself and look for reputable sources, get second-hand opinions from relevant specialists who are basically relevant to the field. If you're studying, for example, tyrannosaurids or just theropods in general, get tyrannosaurid or theropod specialists, allosauroid specialists, etc., specialists that are focused on theropods. If you want to study ceratopsids, same thing, find somebody who specializes in ceratopsids, preferably more than one person who can give you opinions on this. If you want somebody to tell you more about the locomotion and physics, find somebody who specializes in dinosaur locomotion and physics, and etc. This is just my personal view how to do the science better, and that's also very strongly encouraged by everybody who is a member of SVP or who in any case is involved in studying paleontology. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and please let me know in the comments below what would you like to see again on this channel. Also, please stay tuned. I will probably start doing, I'll make another video soon about maybe questions and answers. So if you want, what you can do is post comments down below here and just ask me whatever question you would like. Just a question about myself, anything that you might be interested. It can be any subject. So if I deem it appropriate to answer, I will answer it. Don't worry about that, okay? Don't be afraid of sounding like you're being nosy or whatever. If I decide that this is not an appropriate question for me to answer, I will just ignore it. Okay, so but if you want to make up a list of Q&As, please feel free to do so. You can ask one user, for example, like one commenter can ask as many questions as you like, so I can just pick them out to fit into a nice video. Hopefully I won't make it too long, but if the questions are really good, I might just make a longer video on Q&A. So post away and let me know what you guys want to know about yours truly, T.REX. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the like button and help me march to 1000 subscribers. Thanks very much once again, and I will speak to you later. Bye bye.